Alright, how's it going, party people? It is Caravan Dan from Gaming Caravan, and today I'm going to talk about something slightly different than usual. I'm going over my 5 favorite TCGs, trading card games. The reason why is just because I need to take a break from doing before you buys, and I have a few queued up, so we're going to switch content just a little bit. If you don't know, I grew up on trading card games, not playing them necessarily, just collecting them. Specifically one that was a Christian-based TCG called Redemption, which is not on this list, so it's an honorable mention. I enjoy them. They're cool, they're fun. It's nice because the art is beautiful. If you want to get really into it, it's a game. They're games you can really dive all into, but you never have to, which is why I'm a huge fan of the starting sets, starter decks of these types of games. Do me a favor, if you have played any TCG, let me know what your favorite one was. Let me know which ones you've played. I want to know which one your favorite is and why in the comments below. So without further ado, let's get started. Honorable mention, it didn't hit the top 5 list, but it's right there. I want it to join, but it just is almost there, is Oshi Push. If you don't know Oshi Push, it's a new one. It's a new TCG based on VTubing. Quite literally, you are all VTubers. It's exactly what you think. You have like a character icon that you are. All the cards you play are content that you're creating and other people that you have on your stream. It's a lane battler. There's 3 locations at the same time. The game can actually play between 1 and 4 players, which is pretty dope, and it doesn't take too long to play. When you claim a location to get those points, the points are subscribers, and the aim is to hit, I believe, 1 million subscribers. So you're collecting, it could be an easy location at like 50,000 subscribers, it could be a challenge location that gives you 400,000 subscribers. The more successes you have at a location, the better it is. Once you hit a certain amount of successes based on what location you're going for, you claim that content platform. So it really does take a lot of VTuber culture. It takes a lot of references, mentions, and a lot of these cards I believe are actually based on real VTubers. I think all of them, from what I recall at Gamma, were real VTubers, which is just a really cool thing to do. I'm not big in VTubing. I don't really understand it fully. I think it's cool when people play as like an earthworm. Tis what tis. Not necessarily VTubing. They cost like tens of thousands of dollars for a model, but I think that they did the culture, from what I understand, very well. I think the game plays super uniquely. You don't even have to have VTubing on here to understand it. A very simple game. It's nice that it plays up to 4 players, not in a team mode. It's literally a free-for-all 1v1v1v1. So that's just a good thing to know. And yeah, honorable mention is Oshi Push. At number 5, we have a game called Flesh and Blood. Now, I've only played Flesh and Blood Blitz, so it's a very specific subset of Flesh and Blood that plays a lot quicker. I think it's so interesting. The leaders are all very unique. You play the specific character, and you have a specific character's deck. You each go for different elements. Cards modify other cards. And I think this TCG can be described as kind of a combo TCG, because you always want to chain previously played cards with a card that can activate it, or other cards that might be able to trigger certain effects with the different colorations. I think it's fun. I think it's amazing. I don't know anyone that's complaining about Flesh and Blood Blitz. I know that's not nearly as popular as it used to be. It's not as popular as like the base form, from what I understand, but I do enjoy it. There's a lot of starting decks to go into. They really range the difficulty from just understanding the base game to all the way to variable different starting cards you can interchange and switch out depending on your understanding and how complex you want to make the game to be. So yeah, Flesh and Blood Blitz is number 5 for my favorite TCGs. Number 4 is Union Arena. I love anime. I've been watching anime quite literally since 2nd grade, and Union Arena, if you don't know, is a relatively new TCG where everyone has to have a deck based off a specific anime. And a lot of other TCGs, it was kind of like more, I believe, Jump Force, in the sense of you can have a deck of variable combining cards from a bunch of different kinds of anime. But in Union Arena, you have to have a deck based specifically on your anime. You can only have cards from your anime in that set unless you're doing like a box pull. Well, actually, box pulls are even from their own sets, so even then, no matter what, you have to have cards from the same set. There are, I believe, color rules in the game as well. But it's just so cool. So you can have like a Full Metal Alchemist deck going against a One Punch Man deck. You can have Bleach going against Hunter x Hunter. You can have characters on the field. The only thing I'm remiss about is that there's no leaders in this game. All the characters are unique characters onto your board, and there is a unique character rule sometimes, but it's a very simple action point mechanic to it. It's cool because you don't have to worry too much about finding energy, because I believe almost every single card can be utilized as energy in your back row. And it's just more versatile than other TCGs. So the reason you won't see, I'll say right now, you won't see Pokemon on here, you won't see Magic the Gathering, is mainly because I hate in a TCG where you're limited based on the amount of energy you can find. especially whenever your card draws are just bad, which can happen. So unless you want to guarantee pull a card, even with a card where it's 20 lands, 20 cards, you're not guaranteed pulling an energy card. Same thing with Pokemon. And I find like it's such a waste, and it comes down to more luck than skill. And whenever you have a game where all the cards can be used as energy in some variable way, just like I believe a lot of them do these days, which is fantastic. It can be so limiting. So that's why I like Union Arena. All the cards basically can be used as energy in the back row. You actually have a front row that does the attacking and defending as well. And I do love seeing my IP. If you don't know, if you haven't watched my channel, you don't know, I'm a huge IP fanatic. Any video you watch, I mention this. So yeah, seeing all my favorite anime, I'm a huge anime fan, is a huge plus, and the game does play pretty swell. Now, number 3 is the complete opposite of what I just mentioned. It's Ultraman. The reason why it's the complete opposite is because I have no idea what the IP is, but it's a banger. I like Ultraman because every card can be played at any point in time. Even in other games like Final Fantasy, Union Arena, you still have to pay the cost of whatever it might be. You're just not limited to finding specific lands for the cost. In Ultraman, you can always play it because there's no cost to playing a card. If you have a level 2 hit in your hand, you play that level 2. If you have level 5 in your hand, you can play the level 5. The only ruling about it is the fact that when you play a card, the next card you play on top of it has to be the next in a sequential order with the same type of card. So if you play level 1 dragon, you have to play level 2 dragon on top of it. You can't skip numbers. And that matters. There's monster kaiju cards, there are Ultraman cards, there are very few effect type cards. There are lands, and what I like about it, it's not each of us have our own land. We're each sharing the land we're fighting on, which makes the most amount of sense. I don't know why other games are like, oh, well, this is my land, that's your land. If we're fighting in the same location. Why do we each have different locations? And I like the fact that we're utilizing the shared locations. The locations are completely different than other games you might know. It's just a lane battle. The first to winning 3 lanes wins, and the game goes on as many rounds as you want it to. The hand limit is very important because you cannot draw extra cards in your hand very often. So you start off like, let's say 5. If you play 1, you have to play 1. So you play 1, now you're 4. If you want to boost a previous lane, you can, but it costs you cards. Now you're at 3. And of course, you have to be selective with how you do so, or else you're going to run out of cards, which is a big, important thing you can lose to in this game. So Ultraman's very unique, very creative, and I believe it's pretty new in America. I don't see too many people playing it in Central Florida, but the cards are pretty dope looking. I want to start watching Ultraman because of it, because even though it's not an IP I'm familiar with, it is still an IP that's gone on for so long, huge in Japan, nowhere near popular in America. So I would like to check it out and see what the hype is about now that I actually like the TCG. Number 2 was number 1 for a long period of time, and I really had to think about this list, is My Hero Academia, the Universes system. I can't speak too much of Universes as a whole, because I haven't played any of the other sets. I know they have like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Godzilla, and just a ton of Cowboy Bebop and a bunch of other anime IPs to it. But overall, I only played the My Hero Academia system. I did have my own custom deck as well. That's how much I got into it. And I don't even do that too often. I had my own, the villain with the hand on his face, whatever his name was. I had that guy's deck. And it's nice because you have a lot of things I like in a TCG. You have an IP that I'm familiar with and love. I love My Hero Academia as a whole. You have leader cards, which are fantastic. Anytime I find My Hero Academia, like, cards laying around, I try to find the leaders. I want to collect one of every leader. The leader cards look dope. And they all play very differently. You all have a different hand size. You all have different HPs. You all have different effects. It's just super interesting to see oh my goodness, how they end up using the characters inside of the game. You hit it because you have to block certain attacks. So if I hit you with a high attack, you now have to block high or with an adjacent range. So you can block medium for like half as much, I believe. So it's pretty cool and pretty dope to actually, like, I'm hitting you high, you're blocking me high, I'm hitting you low, you're blocking me mid-range. It's just dope. I think it's pretty interesting. And of course, there's no lands or energy system really. You have energy in the sense of you have to place a card in front of you for energy, but it doesn't have to be a specific type of card. And you can have like a limited size deck, I believe, which is very interesting and not around most TCGs. Number 1, and it's close, is of course the Final Fantasy TCG. Huge Final Fantasy nerd. Been a Final Fantasy nerd most of my life. Starting with Kingdom Hearts in like 2nd grade, it's only grown from there. I didn't know about the TCG till like 2 years ago, and it's such a different experience. It is very interesting. You draw 2 cards per turn, which that alone is fantastic. You don't have any specific lands you have to play. Every card has an energy icon, so when you play that, you have to pay the energy of that card. Other cards, like your followers, can give you more energy if they want it to, or they give you different abilities, different card draws, different effects. They have an interesting mode to go past the 1v1. They have a boss mode, which is a 1v3. I did the 1v3, and it was not good. I want to try it again. I was the boss, Everyone was a character, and I thought the boss had it off bad. I thought the boss was gonna get screwed over, and when I read, I'm like, oh, this is too broken. How can the boss possibly win? And then as I read the boss cards, I now understand why there are boss cards only available in boss decks that cannot be used in the standard TCG deck, because holy crap, it's insane. Every time they would play something, I played a card that literally just said, wipe the entire arena, wipe the whole map, wipe all of the enemy cards. It's just, I want to see if the other decks play the same. I played as, I believe, Sephiroth. I want to play next as like Golbez and see how that goes. But overall, Final Fantasy TCG, very familiar IP, the most beautiful cards you'll ever see, one of the best GSMs, which is like the thickness quality of a TCG card, one of the best well-feeling TCG cards you'll ever feel. I actually hate sleeving those cards just because it feels so nice and so durable. So overall, Final Fantasy TCG is just, it's super close with My Hero Academia, because My Hero Academia plays amazingly, but truly it comes down to the quality of the card art and just how much I love the IP and the quality of the card art, and then the lettering, and then the feeling of the cards. It's overall much better than the Final Fantasy TCG than is My Hero Academia, and it sucks because My Hero Academia is now discontinued as well. But Final Fantasy's still going, but it just has a very small community here in Florida. So if you want to play any of these games sometime, let me know. I have a ton of starter decks for these. I'd love to playing with you sometime. So that's everything. It's nice to not talk about just board games sometimes. I might do this again with RPGs just to spread it out and let you know I do other things other than board gaming. So this was a nice, fun video to make for me. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a great day. God bless. And I hope to see you at a table soon.